How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the CNA Critique. I hope everyone is steering clear from the coronavirus. I'm here quarantined in my home with nothing but Netflix, with nothing better to do than to break down and explain Altered Carbon Resleeved. I'll be going over the beginning, middle, and end of Resleeved, as well as where things could be headed in the future. There are going to be some major spoilers in this video, so if you haven't seen the anime movie on Netflix yet, just put this on pause, watch the movie, then come back. Go ahead and make sure you subscribe to my channel for more movie breakdowns, explanations, and reviews. Thank you for clicking this video. Now let's get to our breakdown.
In the 21st century, human consciousness was digitalized and stored in devices that came to be called stacks. This is an age where human flesh is called a sleeve. Death of the body is no longer the end, as long as one protects their stack.
So Altered Carbon Resleeved is an anime film that's obviously based on Netflix's sci-fi drama that's arguably the best show on Netflix. For some people it's Stranger Things, for others it could be Orange is the New Black. My personal favorite is Mindhunters, but if you're really into sci-fi, then Altered Carbon is probably the show for you. Altered Carbon is a series that's set in a future in which time travel is facilitated by transferring consciousness between bodies, and I will say Resleeved does do this series justice. It further expands on this dystopian universe with familiar concepts that people who've watched the series already know about, while also giving newbies to the series some very crucial information so that they're not lost. The movie does this by first introducing the concept of stacks, which is a technology where your human consciousness can be stored and then transferred to another body. The bodies are known as sleeves, hence the movie's title. Every stack needs a sleeve, and those are the rules of the universe these characters inhabit. So in comes Takeshi Kovacs, which if you've seen the show you know exactly who that is. He appears as somebody different in both seasons of Altered Carbon, Joel Kinnaman in season 1 and Anthony Mackie in season 2, and it's the same thing in Resleeved. He comes back in a new sleeve, one that has military training and super fast reflexes, which are the positives. The negatives is that his body has a powerful nicotine addiction, which never really comes into play except when it's introduced in the final dramatic scene, which I'll elaborate more on later. He's brought back on the planet Lattimore in order to help a Yakuza boss named Hideki find out who the hell killed his brother. They suspect that it came at the hands of the rival Mizumoto gang, but as with all mysteries, you just never know. Hideki is also rich and powerful enough to erase Kovacs' criminal record on Harlan's world, which is a nod to the flashbacks Takeshi has in season 2 of the series. Complicating matters is the relationship Takeshi has with a tattoo artist from the Mizumoto gang named Holly, and he's asked by Hideki to watch over her and keep her safe, and they basically have the same father-daughter relationship found in films like Logan or video games like The Last of Us. Takeshi kinda needs Holly because she's his ticket to inside the clan, and you'll see throughout this movie the many times her connection bails Takeshi out. Throughout the movie, Takeshi keeps telling the current Yakuza boss that there's a rat amongst his gang, and every single time he tells him this, he brushes it off because he thinks his clan is morally superior to any backstabbing shenanigans. You see, these guys operate under a strict moral code. Every time a clan leader is succeeded, he sacrifices his own life for the clan, and everything including his stack and his sleeve is honorably destroyed. In a world where the Donald Trumps of the world can outlive the actual universe, the Yakuza maintains their reputation by choosing death. This not only shows how committed they are to their actual job and ritual, but shows how their syndicate is not led by a dictatorship. After finding out about this ritual, even Takeshi starts to believe that Hideki's brother probably sacrificed his life for the honor of Yakuza and wasn't killed by anyone. He tells this theory to Hideki, and of course Hideki refuses to believe it. He knows his brother better than anyone and knows there's no way in hell his brother would have sacrificed his life for the clan. Later in the movie, Holly reveals that the tattoos she gives the clan has some sort of technology that embeds a special code in all the tattoos. In the succession ceremony, this coding is activated and it destroys all the information of the previous boss's stack. With this, power is given to the next boss until it's time to go through the same ritual all over again. This explains why Shinji is determined to kill Holly. Since he's the next boss in line, killing Holly means he'll be able to avoid death forever, which means he'd be the clan's boss forever. Which leads us to the question you're probably having if you're watching this video. So who exactly killed Hideki's brother? There's a scene where Takeshi describes the boss's laugh to Hideki, and Hideki instantly loses his temper. This is the part where the film foreshadows what happens next. Eventually, the day of the ritual arrives and Holly is still intact. She carries out the ritual like she's expected to, and after she activates the boss's tattoo, his eyes begin to bleed and he dies. And with this, a new Yakuza leader is born. But just like Hideki previously suggested in conversation with Takeshi, there's much more to the ceremony than just that. Turns out that before every ceremony, the boss transfers his stack to the body of his successor, and this would imply that Hideki's father, who was the one who started the tradition to begin with, never really sacrificed his own life for the clan. He's been the boss all along, transferring his consciousness from successor to successor. It's quite ironic that everything the clan claimed to be was the exact opposite of who they really were. Hideki's father also being the clan's boss after all these years also proves that he was the one who killed Hideki's brother by simply transferring his stack onto his brother and then eventually into the next boss in line. Following this revelation, the final battle is set with Takeshi taking on Hideki's father, who's in the body of Shinji. Eventually, Holly jumps in, activates his tattoo, effectively killing him, but not before Hideki could do the honors, putting a bullet in his father's head. In the end, Hideki walks back his original deal he had with Takeshi and lets him know that there are more missions he has to accomplish before he can clear his name from Harlan's world, letting the audience know that Hideki is much more like his father than he thinks. The final shot leaves Takeshi asking what's next, as his quest to clear his name continues. This was a very solid companion piece to the show, if I can't say so myself. Although the anime did lack the drama and emotional heft of the series, I'd still recommend anyone checking out this anime. It's a solid 7 out of 10 for me, and a recommended watch for those who are fans of Altered Carbon or anime in general. But alright everybody, that's my explanation, breakdown, and review of Altered Carbon Resleeved. Let me know what your thoughts are about Resleeved in the comments below, and as always, go ahead and hit that subscribe button to keep talking movies with your boy, and to keep up to date with the latest happenings in Hollywood. And remember, movies may fade, but real legends never die.